Hello everyone and welcome in Let's Connect with Prerna. I wish you all a very happy Mahashivratri. My today's live conversation is with Lata Vaidyanathan ma'am, and I'm inviting Lata ma'am to join in my today's talk show. My today's live session is with Mrs. Lata Vaidyanathan, Director of Gyan Bharti School, New Delhi, and I have invited Lata ma'am to join in for my conversation today. Hello, Lata ma'am. I can see you live now. I can see that you are online. You have to only approve my invite for joining the live conversation. Yeah, I can see your request, Lata ma'am. I'm accepting it.
Yeah. Can you see me now?
Perfect. Yeah. After so many, tries and
Oh, so much of hiccup. Yes. Tell me.
So, all right. Welcome everyone once again. I am live with Mrs. Lata Vaidyanathan, Director of Gyan Bharti School, New Delhi, and I wish you all a very happy Mahashivratri. Hello, ma'am.
Thank you, Prerna. Hello, and wish you too. Om Namah Shivaya.
Yeah, thank you. So to begin with, Lata ma'am, I would, there are news that from 1st of April, schools are, reopening full-fledged, जो एक time था where students were like, there's no hybrid model, no virtual classes, no panic of COVID things. Things, I think that things are now getting back to the normal routine. What do you have to say here? Students should be like, I feel that they should be really very happy that now from 1st of April, they'll be back to schools. What is your message to parents, students, and teachers community?
Okay, Prerna. See, this is, I think, after 2 years of being locked down in pandemic and having on and off classes, a lot of ifs and buts, health issues, and more risks and fears accompanying everybody. So there is really not one right or wrong answer for people taking reopening seriously. However,
Right.
now
Right.
I think after 2 years, there is a sense of comfort, there's a sense of safety, there is a sense of the pandemic receding.
Yeah.
With, of course, as a mature educator, I would always say, please keep your guards on. Do not do anything that will be difficult to for your own lives. So
Right.
while following all the protocols, the sense of opening has not just been about opening of schools. On and off when children come for practicals, and children have already been coming since last month. When you talk to them, the kind of energy, the kind of cheer, the kind of wanting to get back to schools, a lot of videos from our parents coming that we are extremely happy. When parents come to drop them, they take a round of the school. There's a sense of deja vu. There's a feeling that they would love to come back and, be a part of the school. They are missing. It's, for just disseminating a structural lesson, you don't even need a teacher's face if it is online. And if online was an answer to everything, then you don't even need a teacher's face. The content can get, the whole context is in question. In what context do you learn? How do you learn? What do you learn? Why do you learn? The whole lot of learning that happens not just by your brain, by your whole body. So the whole absorption is lost. And I think the one thing that's coming clear after this message is that children want to come back to school. Parents are very happy about sending their children to school.
Right.
There's a slight, we cannot deny the fact that there's a slight element of fear still there because children are not vaccinated. However, I think it's time to reopen, not be fearful, and all schools are geared with all the protocols required to look after the children.
So true.
And adults alike.
Yeah. Ma'am, very important thing. There were vaccination drives going on for students as well. Here, I would like to know if in, particular, I talk about your school. So were the, how was the parents' reaction when it was about, getting their child vaccinated, and the response of students also?
Yeah. So the answer is that, those who are eligible, I think we almost have 90% of them vaccinated. There are
Wow.
others, some of them are children who already suffered COVID or their parents had it or whatever, and therefore the home suffered, and very few children because of either other morbidities or advised by doctors. There may be a few who can't get vaccinated or something like that. Otherwise, by and large, all children are vaccinated. Parents are careful, and in fact, they have gone in for their second round of vaccination as well.
Wow,
So it's a
that's
happy situation. Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
all
a
teachers are vaccinated, 100%, including the staff.
wow, that's great. Lata ma'am, one thing very important, I've been in touch with a lot of students that, when we talk about mental health, because these times have been really very testing times, and people, and I think all of us have suffered, either financial losses, or we were in despair, grief, something. I mean, mentally, it has been really very exhausting. So if we talk about students, they were not able to meet their peer group, they were not able to come out of that atmosphere, they were not having anybody to share their, what exactly is going on. So here, you know yeah, so I would like to ask you, like, after these schools were like reopening and students were coming in, as you said, that maybe because of practicals or maybe because of something or the other, they were visiting the schools, and there are also psychological counselors inside. So how important, and what exactly the role of a psychological counselor present in the school, and are students still under that hitch that they aren't coming with their exact problem and discussing with the psychological counselor? What do you have to say here?
It is interesting to watch because, you draw those circles, you ask them to keep a 6 feet to 10 feet distance when they enter. Otherwise, what would you see a bunch of children doing? The moment they get in, they scream, they shout, fall on each other, whether boys or girls all together. The whole sense of celebration of childhood is visible. And that took a back seat. We found them all standing quietly, not shouting, not falling on each other, because I think we have said you follow the protocols. We told the parents send sanitizers and masks, ask them not to share food, bring their own tiffins, bring their own bottles. We also drove that fear, which
Yeah,
I think was desirable and needed without. However, so what is the psychological toll on them? A, their sense of socialization, their sense of security in being with people had taken a hit,
yeah,
and therefore it required every teacher a counselor. That's what it meant it was. However, we got our very trained specialist counselors. We had a lot of parent orientation virtually. We did confidence building measures. Our teachers and our principal talked one to one with the children and their parents, and had staff meetings. The counselors also address their issues of deeper concerns, children having lost near and dear ones in the pandemic. All of us have suffered the loss, and there's
true,
an accompanying grief in it. So when you look at that, so management of grief, management of response, management of negative responses, management of parental anxiety, student anxiety. Now, also there's someone said, if you take the exams offline, will we fail? So the whole idea around honesty and assessment, and whether what is right, what is wrong, can we blame children for it, can we blame parents for it? There's a whole lot of other complexities. Sharing
true,
of resources at home, technical resources at home, incompleteness, inadequateness. So it's not just about grief. It's about that whole confusion. When you stay
true.
at home, can't take decisions, and you want to be right all the time, it's very complex. So for sure, it cannot be addressed one by one. It has to be addressed together. Some at more and some at less. But the only answer to address it all together is just get back to normalcy. I think today the situation is more or less in control. I think the Disaster Management Authority has very carefully gone through details and asked everyone to reopen school from the 1st of April. In fact, there is a clamor that we should be opening it from 1st of March, which is like today, because of the only reason that, the March can give us a little bit of a bridging month before we start the next session to get the children back into their formats. So
Yeah,
it becomes easier transition. Otherwise, we'll be spending all of April doing that, and then again half of May will hit into the
right,
vacation period. This
right.
experimentation should not go on for too long. Now, a sense of normalcy has to come while following the protocols, so that we don't breach and put our health at risk, because nobody can predict exactly the behavior of a pandemic.
Yeah, so true.
So those are there with much less fear about life loss. It can be managed, is the feeling we get.
Right. And I think, as you said, that, March would be one month which would be bridging, because, after a very, very long time, students will be
Yeah,
coming back to normalcy. So they need that atmosphere. They need that hitch is there,
yeah,
coming back to their own school. So I think that
yeah,
would be
yeah.
if
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. It's very true. And we all have to manage them, manage the lessons, manage exams, and I'm also getting a little stressed about the use of word manage. When we are continuing to manage, when will we actually do?
true.
It's manage gives you a sense of incompleteness, saying that the perfect one is not there. The word itself is questionable. But I would put it this way: we use the word manage because we can predict ourselves and our systems. We can't predict human behavior. So that's why we use the word manage, because each one comes from a different background and a sense of kind of insecurity. Uh, and the losses have added on, financial losses have added on. People have lost so much in it. They're scared of sharing that loss.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of issues,
So,
lot of issues. I
so true.
think it'll all get sorted out with the reopening of the schools, and may God help all of us to do that faster than before. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Ma'am, when we talk about mental health and when we talk about this hitch, now which students are facing, I think parenting and like, the atmosphere at home also really plays a very important role, right? Especially these days when students, more than half of the time they are in their houses, they're in their homes, right? So what do you have to say, your message to the parents, irrespective their ward is in junior class or senior class?
I would put it this way. There are hitches, there are suspicions, there is lack of confidence, so we cannot wish away this. Even if one child had a doubt, it needs to be addressed, because for that one child, it is 100%. For that one family, it is 100%. So we have done it in phases. We have talked to the parents. We have talked, at different layers, at the principal level, at the class teachers level, at the counselors level, people who had doubts, one-to-one level. We have called the families, taken our PTA to confidence, and asked the PTA to actually see. They may not believe us or trust us, even if there is, which is rare, but if it does happen, then we have asked our PTA members to go around the school, give voice messages to their own groups saying everything is safe, please send back your children to school. We have done all of that. Still, you won't. It's not surprising to find that 20-30% of people would be still. And there are reasons for not sending are many now.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Their own work states, home states, their own family health states, their own ability to drop and pick the child, because transportation is running at risk. And there are a lot of such issues which will come in the way of children coming back to normalcy, and parents. So the communication process of trust building, of building normalcy around and confidence measures around the trust factor, that everything is safe and it's important to send the children back to school,
Yeah.
including sports, games, morning games. We have started everything in our school. 7
Right.
o'clock children are there and everything happens. So the point is that, and even I can't say 100% of them are safe and right? Because it's incorrect to do so. But
True.
by and large, this communication channel must be kept open patiently. The teachers, the parents, we only make a request to the parents: you have any doubt, please come and ask us. Don't hide under anything. Come and ask us. There are never any wrong questions.
So true. Yeah. Uh, Lata ma'am, Emin Kapoor sir, he was an eminent educator. So my last question to you is like, there were so many ideas and so many new, creativities and so many good things like, he has inculcated in, if we talk about the education, thing. So अगर हम आज की बात करें, if we talk about today's time and, the kind of things are happening. So what are those, things which are still, in continuation, are still happening as mentioned by M.N. Kapoor sir?
So here is the answer. What can a giant figure like M.N. Kapoor do? So M.N. Kapoor, through his life and through the example of the modern school which he set up, which is now 100 years old, and of which I had the opportunity to be associated close to more than 14 years as head of that school. And the thing is, a very inspired educator and a leader will do what is right for that time.
True.
Right? But there are certain traditions, certain things which are timeless and priceless.
True.
It is the business of every successor to continue with what was right, expand on what needs to be done, forecast what is unpredictable, and work towards it. If he left behind a legacy and vision, which we need to follow, whether it's in terms of nationalism, whether it is in terms of classical nature of this country, stories, celebrate the post and around independence struggles, be the good Indian school that is required to set examples and show the way. Be grounded. You may come from a very elitist background, but please be grounded, because elitism is not defined as exclusivity. It is inclusion of by the exclusive people for betterment of the society.
So true.
You have to understand that. A good leader is one who is resourceful in every way, including material, and thereafter he uses that for, when you employ one person, you're looking after one family. So if these are people, these children are people who can employ families, you're looking after a whole village, a state, and a country. So the responsibility of nurturing and looking, the fact that you're responsible for the lives of more people, that's the message with which probably the vision was there, and it's business for all of us to carry it on, not just in that school, and also fortunately for Gyan Bharti, which was also for the first 10 years led by Mr. M.N. Kapoor and has the legacy and the tradition of that. Things change, right? Change is the only constant. So have we as good leaders, while retaining legacies and stories of correctness, taken it forward? And I think I have no guilt in saying that, yes, I did take it forward. I will take it forward. I'm not sure what the unpredictable nature of the world expects of me more, and I will deliver. And I will deliver. The I in me, the I in this reference is my whole team.
Yeah.
So the whole, I am my whole school.
Yeah.
That is how and the extended community. There is responsibility for me beyond the boundaries of my school.
Absolutely.
All children matter to me in every school. All teachers matter to me in every school. Can I influence them through the examples or through what can happen in my school, and be influenced by their right practices?
Absolutely.
So that, I think, is attitude for growth.
So true. So true. Lata ma'am, before I conclude, your message to everybody watching us right now, and later when I'll upload the video, when they'll watch the video of our live conversation, your message to everyone.
My message to everyone is, dear parents, dear children, education is the only answer to solving every problem on this earth. Let us be part of the development and growth story through each of our actions, which should be sustainable and inclusive. Because you leave behind even one person, you have lost a lot. Take them along. Do what you should and can do. Please remember, for the richest man, your money is yours, but the earth belongs to all. So be careful about resources and consumption. They don't belong to you. So use them wisely and help people live beautifully in happiness. Happiness has to be your quotient and indicator of life.
So true. So true. Thank you so much, Lata ma'am, for coming live with me today and giving me your time. I mean, it was really so nice and so positive interacting with you. Thank you so much, Lata ma'am.
Thank you, Prerna. It was lovely being with you as well. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, ma'am.